Before we get into the video, I need you guys to do me a favour. Number 1, like the video. Also comment, let me know your thoughts on the story. Bladings, extorting and sourcing GUNs in order to supply his gang with the tools that kept his criminal empire afloat, and also promising to erase families and their offspring off the face of the earth if they crossed him. Nathan Vanden was a very powerful drug kingpin and crime boss and gangster that used his enforcers across Salford to keep a strong arm on the drug trade. Now, Nathan was amazing at situational awareness. When he knew that the police were onto him, he left Greater Manchester for Holland in October 2019, where he still continued to command his team. The Salford gangster, who was originally from Leigh, is reported to have used the aliases Machiavelli and Vlad the Impaler on EncroChat and plotted the firing of a house in Whitefield, Bury. He also began to plan an ambush at a home in Salford, which was eventually carried out. Now, Manchester Crown Court heard how the triggerman paid off by Nathan had opened fire at a home in Whitefield at about 1:30 a.m. on Tuesday, February 20th, 2020. Now, the person pressing the trigger were enforcers for Nathan, Aaron Gray and Dominic Hughes, and they had used Glocks. They struck every window in the property. Now, Nathan Vanden, who's 33 years old, was well connected, and when his enforcers needed GUNs, he was able to source them within 24 hours. Now, messages recovered show that Dominic Hughes had fired at the house because he owed a debt, under the promise of being paid if he didn't comply with Nathan's dirty work. Dominic Hughes asked whether his bill was now cleared, in which Nathan responded from the safety of Holland and says, "Come on bro, you know I don't pay for the windows to be fired. Can't pay for no hits. I would have chucked 10 grand and squashed the bill, but you hit the windows. My target are people, not property." Now, as well as transporting over 10 kg of coke and establishing trap houses, Nathan Vanden was reported to have planned a sale of a Glock for £6,000 to a man named Jacob Smith, who was also a gangster, and he wanted that GUN to go out to Greater Manchester so they could fire at a rival to avenge an incident on their friend. On a separate incident on May 11th, Nathan Vanden sent 3 men to a home in Salford. Under the pretense of being pizza delivery drivers, the men knocked on the door wearing balaclavas. The man who lived at the property had children at the time inside, and he was forced to arm himself with a blade and then take their kids upstairs and then hide. Nathan Vanden told his men, everyone up good and proper. £15,000, got to make a mess for that money. From the incident, the family were put into hiding. They were scared, frightened, afraid, petrified even. Now, to make sure that the men went to the right house, Nathan Vanden used Google Street Maps and pinpointed the exact location, and then sent the coordinates to his gang while still in Holland. Now, ultimately, Nathan Vanden was arrested in Holland on May 20th of 2022. Nathan spent a year in the Netherlands prison concerning an unrelated crime. He was then extradited to the UK. Now, it came about that Nathan Vanden had been hired by a gang that needed a man taken away after he had stolen a large quantity of coke. The unnamed man was taken by force where he was T, and he was told that he would be fired upon. And Nathan Vanden was classed as a dangerous man who had a lot of money and a lot of power and a lot of influences that came from extorting other gangs, taking over patches in Salford where drugs was sold, and also sourcing and selling GUNs to other non-criminals. He was in his element, and for this he was jailed for 21 years. To say that the crime boss Nathan Vanden was dangerous is a major understatement. Now he has 21 years to reflect on everything that he's done. Stay safe.